Hello, and I am excited to finally be able to talk about GALAXVERCE, the universe that involves all of my OCs. It is something I've been working on for a while now, mostly with the lore of my persona and my OCs and what happens, and the basics of what everyone and everything is, including the different species of people, the different levels, the power system, everything. It is it is complex. It is I cannot explain everything in one video. So what this is going to be about is I am going to split all the girls into their own videos, and this one is going to be about the general GALAXVERCE in question. So, that is where we're going to begin. Since there is a lot of lore, and there is a lot of things to go over, and I'm very excited to finally be able to talk about it. As I said before, GALAXVERCE is my own universe that I made centered around my OC galaxy. The place you see in the background that you saw at the very beginning is, well, her home. It doesn't really have a name yet. Not because there isn't one, it's mostly because of many different things that I have yet to talk about, and I will not talk about in this video. But the basic is that it's her hometown that was once lost. Because her home is guarded by guardians, which is what she is. The guardians are elemental creatures that are one of 5 elements. Water, which is what she is, lava or fire, air and clouds, nature and animals, and space matter and galaxies. Each one has their own domain, as you could see by each of the islands, and the base premise of it is 4 of the guardians were lost in an accident, and Galaxy's soul was broken. Souls are another important thing that I will explain in another video, because it is yet again so complex that it needs its own video to be explained. But her soul being shattered left her spirit to have to float through different universes to be saved and to keep herself whole until her soul was complete. The girls you see next to her are girls from these universes. They are versions of other characters that their worlds were never finished. Their worlds were never completed. There was something wrong with each of their worlds. The girls standing next to her, their worlds were destroyed. And each one of them had a part of them taken, for Galaxy, being in her proper form again, saved them from their worlds that were slowly deleting, fixed the parts of them that were broken, and gave them a choice. They could be free, or they could choose to help her. She did not care either way. She could protect the world by herself. But they were her friends. She wanted to give them the chance to do and be what they truly wanted to be before. But because of loyalty and the strength between soul bonds, they stayed. Which is another thing I will explain in the video explaining the souls. So, Galaxy and her friends, her team, these girls, go from world to world, some of them slowly being destroyed, some of them being corrupted, 2 different things, and some of them on the verge of corrupting or being deleted, and they help. Each one of them has their own talents, have their own unique things that they learned from their worlds, and now use to help throughout the things. Only except in being Bine, who is a code, but yet again, I'll explain that in Bine's video. That's the one I was just drawing, by the way. As I said, each girl has their own unique talents, but their own traumas that will be worked through in this series. And it will be a series. It will be the main thing I am working on. I will still work on my AUs, but this is the main thing I will be working on. There will be chaos, there will be moments where the girls get to relax, and there will be moments the girls have to face their traumas and fears, especially Galaxy. But one thing they do is that they do it together as a team. Now, on for the important stuff that you kinda have to know. Number 1. Corruption and deletion are not the same thing. Corruption is made by this thing called liquid death, which was meant to control Guardians, but backfired in the worst way and is the reason why Galaxy's sisters, the other Guardians, are gone. 2. The other Guardians are not fully gone, their bodies are gone, their consciousnesses still preside and occasionally flicker in to give advice. They might also have the ability to come back depending on how the series goes. But it all depends. 3. The world was once lost, but was rebuilt by Galaxy using her powers. Number 4. Galaxy is both an 18-year-old girl and a god that is centuries upon centuries old. That is because she technically has 2 souls that merged together, which will be explained in her video. Number 5. Yes, some of the girls on her team will have family that exists in New Worlds, but those families' memories have been wiped of them because their worlds thought they were deleted, and therefore their memories were erased by everyone who was in that world, even though they might have not been in the world by that time. I forgot what number I'm on. None of the girls are really human. All of them have a weird trait in a way that makes them abnormal. Each of the girls are connected to Galaxy through the lands. Talking about the lands, it has its own language. If you hear me talking gibberish, that is not actually gibberish, that is what is translated to language of Guardians, the language of Galaxy's homeland. I will make its own video explaining that, so and I also need to flesh out the language a bit. And one of the biggest points is that, yes, these girls are based off of different worlds, but they're not copies of anything in those worlds. They are not copies of any characters. Yes, you saw a few that look like them, like for instance, the most obvious is Ben, the one that obviously number 1 is yellow and you're about to see drawn in the video. That one is obviously Bill Cipher, but number 1, she does not act as insane as Bill Cipher. She has her own traumas, and she does not want to take over the universe. She is not Bill Cipher. She is a failed other version of him. Imagine you're creating an AU, or like a female version of a character. That's what they are, but they're from failed worlds that were never finished. They are not the characters, they are blank slates that were never finished. They are not exactly the characters, but instead forgotten beings that were never finished. I am not trying to steal from the other world, the games, the TV shows, and etc. that these girls are from. I am trying to make a thing that's based off of what happens when people are creating AUs, they're creating characters, they're creating worlds, but they forget about those worlds. This is what happens behind our screens when no one's looking. These are the worlds that people forget about, the things that they don't see. After you're finished playing that game, after you're finished watching that show, this is what happens after those stories are concluded, and when the unfinished stories never get an ending. When the unfinished script you're writing never gets its conclusion. This is what happens when that is the part. It's the thing. This is not supposed to be anything major. It's just supposed to be a fun thing I'm doing with my OCs and my story. But it is not a copy, and it is not stolen from anyone else. Yes, these characters look exactly like or very similar to other characters, and in their videos I will tell you specifically who they're based off of, in where, in what characters, etc., etc. I will explain what their worlds were like, but let it be known that these worlds are ones that I also created, that I also thought up. These were characters that I once thought about and I once used that I forgot about. These are all my own characters and all my own storylines that I thought up and forgot about. Everything here is mine, even if it's based off of another universe, another creation. And I will explain that in every single thing. And I feel like I need to explain this because I know people jump to conclusions, and I know some people don't give it a lot of info. I'm giving it to you now. These are all my own characters and my own stories. Even though, like as you see, like at least 3 or 4 of these girls are based off of other characters. I am fully admitting that they are based off of other characters, but they have their own stories, their own motives, their own designs, and they are nothing like those characters. It's just a slight based, like someone who likes a universe and creates an entire new universe that is nothing like the other universe, but was solely created because they liked that first universe and wanted to create something in memorial for it that wasn't like that first universe and has nothing to do with that first universe. Am I making sense? I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm just repeating the same thing over and over. But I want to make it clear that this is all my own things, these are all my own ideas, and the characters are based off of other characters from other shows and games, but they also have their own motives, their own stories, and are nothing like the characters you've seen from those TV shows or games. I hope that makes sense. I'm just running on things here. I'm just trying to explain it the best I can so that people know that I'm not trying to copy anyone. I'm not trying to, build off of the hype train from whatever thing happened before. I'm trying to create my own universe that needs these characters to show that, to show the representation of creators who start creating universes but then forget halfway, lose interest, or just stop creating those universes, creating half-finished characters and worlds that were never fully completed and therefore don't have a full story and eventually get deleted because they're forgotten by even their creator. I know this one little bit has been a long tangent, but just feel the need to say it because I don't want there to be any misunderstandings. I just want to do my art and my characters, so this is what this whole thing is just about. So, and I'm doing everything the fastest I can. I have multiple AUs. Like, I have the sketches done for all the girls, but I'm currently working on other AUs, other stories, etc. So, everything I'm doing is very slow. Now I have multiple other drawings for multiple other things. I have a fully completed drawing from an AU of Eddsworld I have on Tumblr. Just not fully complete. It's complete, it just needs to be posted, but I haven't posted it yet. I have a lot of things going on, a lot of things I need to do. It will not be quick, it will not be fast. I'm not even sure when the next GALAXVERCE thing will come out. So I'm just asking you give me time and just know that I'm doing the best I can, and all of this is my own thing, and I'm doing this as one girl, okay? So, yeah. And so, with nothing else to talk about, I guess I'll leave you with the rest of the speed paint. But just know that I love this universe so far. I will continue it, and I know I've been very vague in this video, because there is so much lore based off not only these girls, but also in the story itself, to the point where I also might just have to create like a fanfic on AO3 that explains this story because of how complex it is, okay? I've been slowly creating this for over a year. My persona has gone through multiple different iterations. The characters have gone through multiple iterations. There have been deleted characters who I tried to make work but didn't. One of those, in fact, being a version of Error, because Undertale was the first fandom I was ever in. But unfortunately, that didn't quite work out. Just a whole bunch of things. So,